This interactive read aloud is titled My Partner and Friend. Do you have a pet or know some? How is your pet a friend? Turbo and I were sleeping when Officer Patel rang the doorbell. I peeked through the curtains to see who was there. "Stay," I said to Turbo, and then I opened the door. "I know it's your day off," Officer Patel apologized, "but we need Turbo's help. Would you both come with me?" I dressed in my uniform and strapped Turbo into his harness. When we were ready, Turbo and I joined Officer Patel in his police car. "What happened?" I asked when we were settled. "It's Echo," Officer Patel explained as we drove toward the police station. "I'm afraid he's missing." Echo and Turbo are police dogs. Echo is Officer Patel's best partner, and Turbo is mine. Echo is a powerful German Shepherd, and Turbo is a strong bloodhound. Although they are different breeds, they have been training to work together very well. As we drove away from my house, Officer Patel explained what had happened. "Echo and I were out training in the woods," he said. "Echo was trailing a scent I had given him. He was following the scent, sniffing the air and then the ground in the woods, when he raced ahead suddenly and disappeared. I called and searched everywhere, but there was no sign of Echo." Officer Patel hesitated, and I could tell he was thinking. I waited. "I'm sorry again to bother you on your day off, but your dog Turbo is our best bloodhound. If Turbo can't find Echo, no one can." Turbo was resting on the back seat. When he heard his name, he sat up and barked. The police car stopped at the edge of Hawthorne Woods. I opened the back door, clipped on Turbo's leash, and rummaged around for something belonging to Echo. Echo's favorite toy was on the floor. I took it out and held it under Turbo's nose so that he could pick up Echo's scent. Turbo's sense of smell is much more sensitive than a person's. Turbo sniffed the toy and looked up at me. "Track," I said. I wondered if the scent on the toy would be strong enough. Would Turbo locate the scent and find Echo? Turbo led us deep into the woods. His nose sniffed as he turned this way and that. I listened for any sound from Echo, but heard nothing but our boots and Turbo's paws crunching on autumn leaves. Turbo moved faster, pulling at the leash, as if he had found something. He stopped at a small pond. Was Echo's scent stronger now, or had Turbo lost it in the water? Officer Patel and I waited to see what Turbo would do next. Turbo raised his head and gazed across the water. Then he began to bark. Had Turbo smelled something? Had he heard something? Would Turbo lead us to Echo? Officer Patel and I waited. After a while we heard a soft, faraway bark. It was coming from somewhere on the other side of the pond. "It's Echo," Officer Patel said. "Good dog, Turbo," I said. Echo's barking led us around the pond and through the woods. We came to a building. There he was. There was Echo. Somehow he had gotten trapped inside an empty old shed. His bark at the window seemed to say, "Get me out of here, please." When Turbo saw his friend, he barked too. When I opened the door, Echo and Turbo sure looked happy to see each other. They barked in excitement. Their tails couldn't stop wagging. "Echo and Turbo make quite a team," I said. Officer Patel smiled and agreed. All right, now we're going to go back through the cards, and I'm going to ask you some questions about the cards. Remember, if you can't answer any of the questions, you need to go back and listen to the story again. Who is Turbo? What does he do? How did Echo get lost? What happened? How does Turbo find Echo? What does he need to help track him? How are Turbo and Echo important friends to one another? How do they work together?